Vortex has been busy during COVID, updating their Razor series during the pandemic, starting with the high power variable optics and now moving over to the low power variable optics. Say hello to the latest update, the Razor HD Gen 3 1:10 by 24, updated with 10 times magnification. The new Gen 3 Razor HD is powered by a single CR2032 battery for reticle illumination and provides both a sunshade and a throw lever. An upgrade to the old Gen 2 function is the increased magnification from 6 times to 10 times magnification, retaining an objective lens diameter of 24mm with an eye relief of 3.6 inches. The variance in eye relief gets narrower as the magnification increases. The LPVO has a field of view similar to the older generation, from 22 degrees FOV at 1 times magnification to a narrow 2.23 degrees FOV at 10 times magnification. This is approximately 11 feet across at 100 yards. The housing is the same color as the older generation with a burnt bronze color all around. The new Vortex optic uses the enhanced battle reticle, the EBR9, with harsh mark ranging for either MRAD or MOA based on common 223 bullet drop coefficients. When fully magnified to 10 times, the edgings on the reticle can be best seen. These include windage corrections and a few other features etched into the glass. The main features of this reticle is the fact it is in a first focal plane optic. The illuminate center reticle is a combination of a middle dot with a partial circle to help blow out the reticle at low magnification. All shooting optics with some form of illumination on the reticle must be capable of being daylight bright, at least at its highest brightness settings. Fortunately, Vortex is not one to neglect this requirement. On a very sunny day, the highest brightness setting of the optic provides enough light to bloom the reticle and provide a lovely dot to aim with. At 1 times, the optic is very clear, has very little chromatic aberration, and does not bleach any of the light colors coming through the lenses. To a certain extent, it is as true to zero magnification as an LPVO could be, considering the light is passing through multiple lens assemblies. The eye relief at 1x magnification on the optic is quite generous with at least 3 inches of range, depending on the user's eyesight, which allows for flexibility when using the optic at speed. The best middle ground for magnification regarding eye relief has been between 4 times and 6 times magnification, depending on the user, as the eye relief is more manageable and less severe. We believe that more training and practice will allow for the use of 10 times magnification to be more usable. The adjustment turrets on an LPVO have 2 main functions: applying 0 for accurate trajectory and on-the-fly adjustments for windage and elevation after the fact. The Vortex Razor HD Gen 3 has some of the most accurate adjustment turrets available on an LPVO, with 0.25 MOA clicks for adjustment. The clicks on these turrets have very positive and stiff feedback and do not feel mushy like other optics. The illumination control on the optic has not changed in design or function. It's a tried and tested design which complements the usability of the optic. Located on the left side of the main housing, the lockable dial allows the user to increment through the various brightness settings in the same fashion as the adjustment turrets. The locking mechanism on the dial is a nifty feature that does have some practicality to avoid accidental movement or snagging. Previous criticism of the Gen 2 was the stiffness of the magnification dial on the neck of the optic. This was an issue that led to a known modification being done by users who were unhappy with how stiff the adjustment was at the time. Vortex has been listening and has loosened the controls on the Gen 3. Operating more smoothly without overdoing it, this new optic is now easy to throw from the lowest magnification up to the highest with the average grip. The dial now provides magnification from 1 times to 10 times. The positioning is different to the Gen 2, however the distance in the rotation is not as severe. Considering there is an extra 4 times magnification adjustment on the dial, this makes it easy to switch from one extreme to the other using a one-hand twist. Just be prepared when you have to make that 180-degree turn from 1 times magnification to 10 times magnification. The most popular use for the Vortex Razor HD Gen 3 is for use in competition shooting. This requires the ability to shoot at both close range and long range targets within a constrained time frame. This is most easily done in a practical shooting setting, where targets are set at varying distances, and the competitor needs to apply accuracy and speed in both shooting and movement. At close ranges, the optic fares well, with a good field of view and a comparable sight picture to non-magnified red dots. This is especially so with a brightly illuminated reticle, as the edgings can be completely ignored at that range. The application of the Gen 3 is very fast at close ranges, with a lot of praise going towards how light it is compared to other LPVOs. The EBR reticle on the Vortex provides a good balance between information and practical sight picture without clogging the view of the target. The elevation BDC holds can take a 223 rifle all the way to 600 yards, with the windage providing up to 20 miles per hour adjustments. The Vortex Razor HD Gen 3 is a great mid to long range optic with a promising premise for bridging the gap between low power and high power optics. It is however unfortunate that the 10 times magnification reduces the eye relief of the optic dramatically. This means that the use at 10 times requires a more practiced positioning of the eye behind the optic, and does not allow for more flexible shooting positions. The Vortex Razor HD Gen 3 is a very formidable tool to have in one's arsenal, especially for an experienced competition shooter. The optic is function rich and provides all the fundamental qualities needed to achieve close range and long range target acquisition. This is not a beginner friendly optic, as it provides features which are more reminiscent of the higher price band offered for LPVOs. If you are new to shooting or only require basic close and long range capabilities, we would recommend going for a cheaper optic with comparable features, albeit low quality in either glass clarity or function. Vortex has definitely upgraded the Gen 2 with the new Gen 3. However, we're unsure if it's worth the extra magnification, as most of the features and qualities are similar and have relatively little change. It is possible that the extra magnification would be ideal for hunting. However, we have neither the experience nor tested the application to provide a consensus on that matter. The first focal plane reticle is definitely a bonus for more functional use of the bullet drop coefficients with a 223 rifle. The Vortex Razor HD Gen 3 is a great addition to the premium line of low power variable optics. If you want high quality and have the money to splash, you cannot go wrong with the Gen 3.